Hello, how's it going? Okay, my name is Sammy Ditlevson, and today I am just going to be showing you how to apply your Seint makeup in the most basic way ever. I'm going to be going over placement, how do you know where to place your makeup based off your face shape in the most easy way. So let's go ahead and get started. I use the setting spray by Seint, and you simply just shake it and just spray it on your face. And then, and then just take a couple seconds to dry. You can also use a perfector sponge, spray it on the sponge, and then dab it on that way. Let's go ahead and get started on applying the makeup now. So first thing I'm going to go over really quick is covering up any redness before applying the rest of your routine. Right here, I have this color Mango. Now with applying this color, you want to use a very light amount. You don't need to use a lot by any means. So you can use your regular brush. I'm going to be using the blush and bronzer brush just because it picks up a really nice light amount. So see, I'm barely picking up any. And I'll just put a little bit like right here. And I just like to simply press it into the skin instead of like brushing it on. I just like to lightly press it and then just apply, keep on applying till you get the coverage that you want. But look at that. Isn't that so cool? So that's all you need to do, and you can just use this color or another color that I recommended you for covering up any redness. Now let's go ahead and do the rest of your routine. Okay, so I have my compact here, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be showing you where to apply your contour based off of using this rounded side of your 3D brush, okay? So I am just going to pick up my contour here, okay? Woo, I have done that a little bit too much. I'm putting it on like a little bit extra dark just so you guys can really see where I'm placing it. So when applying contour, you just really want to get comfortable with your face and where your bone structure is and everything, because contour is there to help just bring out those beautiful features that you already have. So it's just, let me just show you. So with your contour on your cheek, okay, this is no matter what face shape you have, everyone puts it on their cheekbone. And so you just kind of feel around. So kind of see how you can like look underneath, feel underneath that bone. What you want to do is have your contour right there on that bone. I know back in the day, it used to be just like hugging underneath the bone or putting it underneath. That's what I used to do. But honestly, you'll see such a huge lift to your face when you put it on that bone. Another line that you can follow is kind of like where your ear connects to your face, and that's also another helpful spot. So I'm simply going to just, you can kind of stipple it on, you can brush it on, it really does not matter, okay? And so see that, and where I usually stop, and I'm going to go nice and slow for you guys too, so if you're applying your makeup, you can follow along, is I like to go about to the corner of my eye. I usually don't like to go further than that, because if you have your contour lines connect with these smiling lines, it's going to look really unnatural and kind of clown makeup-ish. It just doesn't look good. It makes it obvious that you have contour or makeup on your face. So when you have it, but see how it just kind of lifts your face a little bit and just enhances it a little bit, right? So just follow that. So that's how easy it is with the cheekbone, okay? Just feel around your face. Just use your hands, feel your face. You don't want to have it underneath the line if you have any gels or anything. What you're going to do is you're just going to go directly underneath your jawline, okay? And then you also want to just drag it down. And this will help give you a nice defined jawline. This is optional. With my face shape, since I'm oval, I don't need to put it on my jawline. I personally like to just put contour in the very corners of my forehead. I don't personally like going all the way across just because I feel like I used to do it, but I just didn't like how it looked. It looked a little bit unnatural to me, but I feel like if I just do it in the corners and kind of drag it down a little bit towards the brows, it just kind of helps bring more focus to this area. Okay, show you the nose really quick. Okay, now with your nose, you can either use the side part of your brush and pick up some product, okay? Okay, bud? Or you can use your finger, you can use a smaller brush, it really doesn't matter. But what you're gonna do is you are gonna get your contour on the top part of your nose and get those lines as close as possible, okay? And it's really not hard. Just go to the top part of your nose. And this is just gonna make your skin look more 3D and not flat. It's also going to give you a nice slim looking nose. So pretty much a free nose job. And then I just like to kind of exit on the tip of my nose, okay? And it's that easy, but don't forget your nose. So with the buff brush, it's a little bit different than using the 3D brush, because the 3D brush, let me just show you really quick. You're just gonna pick up a little bit of product and you can just kind of brush on and make a mess of it. You really don't have to be perfect with it at all, okay? That's literally what you can do with this brush. You can even use this rounded side too for applying the foundation. It really doesn't matter. But what you're gonna do with the highlight is that you are just gonna put it on wherever your contour isn't. So don't put it over the contour, but also if you have a lot of redness or things or blemishes, you can certainly put your highlight foundation all over your face first and then the contour. There's no rules against that. It's just I put the contour where it goes and then the foundation around it. So I'm using less product and it uses less time. But really, there's no wrong way to use this makeup. So you're doing totally fine. Now with the buff brush. So like I said earlier, this picks up a lot of product. So with pressure, you usually want to do about this much pressure. You don't want to be doing this much pressure or else you're going to be grabbing way too much product and overusing it, because if you're going through your highlight faster than, I would say faster than 3 months, you're using too much product. Or if your makeup is feeling really heavy, you're using too much product. So those are just some helpful tips, but it's okay. It took me about 2 or 3 times to get used to how much product my skin needed. And everything. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but don't worry. You'll get it, I promise you. So I'm just going to lightly pick up my product, okay? And like I said, you can always go back and add more, okay? And so with this brush, you want to press into the skin, and that is just stippling. So it's just doing these little quick motions. But this brush is so great for that full coverage look. It's just really cool that this makeup, it just depends on what brush that you use to get the coverage that you want. But you guys, look at my skin already. It looks so much better. But yeah, it's really this easy. You are just literally gonna stipple it around. Don't put it over your contour. It's that simple, okay? And so that's just how you use these brushes. And also with a small end, you can use this small end for applying your contour, just like you did with the round edge. Here, I'll just show you. See? You can either stipple it on, you can brush it on, whatever you want, it doesn't matter. This side, I just want to use 2 other brushes that I absolutely love. The blush and bronzer brush, and then my detail hack brush. So this one is a great combination for anyone that's looking for like kind of nice medium coverage that's super fast. And then this is just for anyone that's really looking for a nice defined contour. You guys will love this brush. It's amazing. So let's go ahead and get started with it. So this side, I'm gonna do the foundation first and then do the contour afterwards, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna use a small end of this brush, and I'm just gonna lightly pick up my product, okay? And I am simply just gonna kind of just brush it on. Now, a helpful tip too is the more coverage that you want with this. If you want a little bit more coverage, do a stippling motion. If you want a little bit less coverage, then you can just brush it on like this, okay? So I hope that is helpful for you. And if you have any questions for me, please let me know. Or if you're struggling, or if you need a new color match based off the time of year, because I know whenever it's summer, our skin gets darker, so we're gonna need a darker foundation shade or highlight shade. And then if, you know, when it's winter, our skin gets lighter because we're not outside in the sun anymore. So there we go. It's this fast, you guys. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and use the detail brush for my contour. So I'm just going to pick up my contour with this brush. With the contour, I use a little bit more pressure just because the contour tends to dry out a little bit. It still completely works fine, but over time it does dry out. So I'm gonna feel around again, find my bone, right? And I'm just going to kind of draw it on, right? And it's that simple, okay? So I love using this combination, you guys. My skin looks so much better. Okay, and I'm even gonna put some on my forehead. You can even use this brush too for anyone that's looking for a nice full coverage. This one's awesome. If you wanna use it for a full routine as well, you certainly can. Maybe not like blush as much, but anyway, and then I like using this small end too for applying the contour on my nose, just so you guys can see other helpful ways to use your brushes. I even like to put a little bit of contour underneath my lip just to get a nice little pouty looking lip. Isn't that so cool? It makes your lip look bigger. Applying this lightest shade to help brighten underneath the eye area, I like to use a small end of the buff brush, or you can use the pointed end of the 3D brush. My personal favorite is using this small end of the detail brush. So I'm just gonna show you how to do that because these are all pointed edges. You can even use your finger if you want to, but I personally like to use a brush. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick up a little bit. You don't need a lot. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put that lightest shade right here in the inside corner of the eye. You don't want anything touching the middle because when you place light on something, it's gonna make it pop more. See how it's just more bright in this area? So if you're looking to hide something and you add something really light to it, it's just gonna bring it out more. So that's why you don't wanna use a really light shade like concealer for covering up blemishes, because it's just gonna bring it out more. You wanna go with a darker shade. And then also, I'm gonna go on the outside of my eye, okay? And I kinda like to bring it up to my eyebrow as like the outside corner of my eyebrow as a personal preference. And this is an easy way too to help clean up your eyeshadow and make like a really nice crisp line, just as a bonus, okay? And see, like this will just kind of help open up the eye a little bit more, brighten it up, and it's very natural. You don't need to do that whole like under eye area. It's just so funny how makeup trends change so often, and we learn new ways to use less product and get the same or even better results. Because I remember I used to do like a thick paste of concealer underneath my eye, and I don't need to do that anymore. So I'm just gonna do, and then also I like to put this brightening shade on my nose as that middle line for my contour. So that's really gonna make my nose just have a lot more 3D effect. And I also put it right here in the middle of my brow. So you pretty much just want all this light attraction in, in this area here. So when you add light here, you're just bringing all this focus here, and it's gonna help you look more awake, more youthful, all the good things that we all want. Okay, and then I also like to put it sometimes here on my lip and then even on my chin. So you're kind of creating like a symmetrical source of light to your face. But seriously, I mean, look at the difference. I mean, so now we're gonna work on blush placement. You guys will love this trick because it doesn't matter what face shape you are. This trick is so stinking cool. So I'm going to be using my blush and bronzer brush for applying my blush. I honestly love this brush. I recommend it to everybody that's looking for a second brush. But if you only have one of like these brushes, you can use the round side of this brush or the bigger side of the buff brush. It really does not matter. Let's see. So I'm going to show you my trick, okay? So you're going to create the letter L with your thumb and your index finger. You're gonna put your thumb on the corner of your nose, and then you're gonna kind of just create an L. And so wherever that pocket is, let me just show you guys. That pocket is right here, where it like hugs. That is where you're gonna place your blush. Now I'm gonna just pick up a little, goes a long way. So have a very, very light hand on your blush, because if you pack it on, it is gonna be full on color. So I'm gonna apply my blush right here. Now, if you want more color, you can certainly add more color. That is no problem, but just start out light and then just slowly build up to the pigmentation that you either just use your brush, like your finger to apply the color. I even like to cheat. If I just want a really light application, I'll use the small end of my buff brush, or, you know, the round edge of my 3D brush, or whichever brush I have, and just kind of lightly brush it on that way, because then I don't have to worry about doing lip liner or anything. It keeps it really natural. Now, Seint does have cream and powder illuminators. I'm personally using the cream one called Pearl. The cream ones are going to be more natural, a little bit more soft on your skin, and these are optional, but they're just a great way to help waken up your skin a little bit more, help it look nice and dewy. I honestly love it. And then if you want more of like a wow factor, kind of like you just kind of want to celebrate life type of thing, then I would recommend going with the powders, and I can give you some recommendations based off what you're looking for. But with your cream illuminators, you can just use your finger if you want to, and what you're going to do is you're going to feel around your eye and just kind of feel like that bone that surrounds your eyeball socket, and you're going to put it right there. So it's just going to go just above your blush, but see how like nice and soft that is. Okay, and then you can also use a damp perfector sponge if you want to do it that way as well, but see how it just kind of gives it a nice dewy glow. Or you can just stick like this and you're totally fine with that as well. I also like to put an illuminator here on the tip of my nose and like the bridge of my nose. You can also use it underneath your brow if you want to. Like, say you didn't have time to put on some eyeshadow, dude, just put some contour here in the crease, some illuminator in there, and you're good to go. You can even use it on your lips. Just add a little bit of shimmer. I personally just like to put it right in the middle. You can do it all the way across, but I just like to put it right in the middle. And even on chin, or you can even put it here on your collarbone, like it's summertime, so we show our collarbones a little bit more, like wearing like our cute dresses and tank tops and everything. Just go over covering blemishes as well. So what I like to do too is I like to just use my finger, and say I have a blemish there, I like to use it very last and just lightly tap it onto my skin to get the coverage that I need, and leave it alone. Don't touch it. Just leave it alone. Don't blend it. Nothing. With blending your makeup, you can use a damp sponge, and the way to get it damp perfectly is get it completely soaked in a sink of cold water, and then you're going to squeeze all the excess, and then the best thing to do after that is you're going to get a towel and then squeeze it with a towel, and it will be the perfect dampness, because you don't want to squeeze it and have water running down your arm, or else it's too wet, and you don't want to use it dry because then it's just going to remove the makeup. So when you're using it, you just lightly want to press, and then also when you're doing like contour and things, you want to go in a nice upward motion, and using a sponge will just help blend your makeup and also pick up any excess makeup that is on your skin. Okay, now with setting your makeup, you can either use the setting spray again. You can spray in the sponge and dab it that way, or you can directly spray your face. Or if you have more oily skin, then I would recommend setting with a powder. Okay, so for me, since I'm going to have all my makeup done, I personally like to just spray it on my sponge and then dab it on. Okay, because then I don't have to worry about setting spray getting on my eyeshadow or anything. I've never had it really like move anything, but I just don't want to risk it. Okay, so that is everything. It is super easy. I want to take this video nice and slow so that you guys knew exactly what to do when you got your makeup. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can DM me, whichever you prefer. If you need to get a color match, just comment color match and I can help